As we enter this time of meditation and message, I invite you to take a deep breath into the breath of life that is you. And close your eyes if you're comfortable doing so, or just let your gaze soften. You are Spirit's intention in the world. And for the next couple of minutes, let the sound of Roger's gentle guitar playing that rain of music gently fall in your ears and your heart. And let it lead you inward into the infinite presence within. The same with the sound of my voice as you center in. The words I offer are only an invitation. An invitation to deepen your awareness of that infinite presence, or to just let them go and follow your own breath, sense your own heartbeat. I am one in the infinite presence, one in all, kin to all. Spirit's call leads gently, whispers within. Spirit's call is in the beauty of spring. And Spirit's call is in the fire within. That voice we seek is seeking us, waiting for us to slow down long enough for that voice to catch us. Breath moving in and moving out leads us to the doorway of our own heart. leads us on the path of love to where love has lived all along. Step through that doorway. Onto that path that only your heart can answer for you. Steps moving along gently, slowly, skipping, dancing, crawling. Always moving in love's direction. Letting the infinite presence of love remind you where your true home is, where our true home is. The arms of love are waiting for you to say yes to the yes that birthed you. Infinite presence, hold us. Infinite light, guide us. Infinite heart, love us and invite us to love fully in return. In this moment, and this moment, and this moment. And so it is. And from that infinite presence, we come back into this presence with each other. This presence here in this sanctuary that we make holy by our presence, by our yes. Sharing that presence with our beloveds who are joining us on live stream now or later in this week. Moving in the direction of love. Moving in love's direction. And I'm going to put this paper here so it doesn't move into flames direction. It's a higher flame than it's been, and I can feel Carol flinching. And flinching is not the vibe we're going for today, I promise. So on Monday, this past Monday, I had the gift of spending some time with my longtime writing group, my Yayas. My daughter Beth named us that in 2008, 2009. It's my mom and a couple of her friends and a couple of my friends. And for many, many years, we did actually get together and write every month or so. And so we got together on Monday And I had found in an old notebook a list of writing prompts from December of 2009. Some of them were from Sun magazine. I shared a few of those on Wednesday when we gathered to write with company. But the one I picked that day was moving in. So on Monday, just a little bit of free writing, stream of consciousness writing, moving in and out of places that I've lived, moving in and out of offices, moving in and out of relationships, moving out of friendships. And as I got towards the end of a couple of minutes of this, I eventually unearthed phrases like the way a place can feel like home, or like the walls are moving in on me, moving in a new direction, moving in my own direction, guided, I hope, by spirit, moving in me, moving into new openings, moving into all I'm called to be. What a gift of a Monday morning. And then Monday night, I went to a NIA class for the first time in a very long while. And my friend Casey, some of you know her, did a routine. It's a movement dance class, and Casey has a routine called Moving in the Right Direction. I don't know, did I need that message maybe? So the whole hour and 15-minute class is music about moving. We played with our, in our bodies, moving in different directions, feeling that practice. And then at the end of class, Casey asked us to put our hands on our hearts, close our eyes if we felt comfortable doing that, and then slowly, in a 360 circle, very slowly at our own pace, to notice where in our own lives did we feel we were moving in our own right direction? Were there places where we recognized, yes, I am moving in the right direction? Are there places in our own lives where we felt a little constriction or a little bit that not quite? I'm not quite where I feel I'm being led. And so, again, interesting that I had two really strong messages for how am I moving in that direction. So I found as I was moving in my circle that a question that I have used a lot here, is this the path of love? Those words popped into my head as I was doing my little circle around, sensing where in my life am I on the path of love? And so here's a little bit of that poem from Rosemary Watola Tromer from the question, is this the path of love? I notice what the question is not. Not, is this right? Not, is this wrong? That question, it just longs to know how the action of existence links us to the path of love. So clearly, my Monday messages were asking me to really deeply consider how the action of existence in my own life was moving me in love's direction. And so I ask that question to you and to us collectively. How are we moving collectively on the path of love? And where do you find some inspiration? Here I find inspiration in the ways that we show up for our bigger community, collecting food, collecting personal care items, listening to a music team share their gifts with us, knowing that even on a Sunday that's cloudy and you could have slept in, you still showed up. Those of you who did sleep in are still there on YouTube. This week, in my family and my extended family, I had a very huge example of people living the path of love. And I shared this with our prayer chaplains. If you have a prayer request, to know that our whole prayer chaplaincy team holds that prayer and then sends it on to Silent Unity, where people all around the world who are connected to Silent Unity are also praying, is a very moving and grounding experience. I have two cousins, John and Charles. They are in their mid-50s. They're both dads. They are the sons of two of my mom's sisters. John has a genetic kidney disease that meant for the last year he has done at-home dialysis 3 times a week while he was waiting for a potential kidney donor. 4 or 5 times over the course of that year, it seemed like they had found the perfect donor, and then it was not. And so my other cousin Charles, they're the same age, nearly. He flew in, he got tested, and he flew in from Cedar Rapids, Iowa on Thursday. And on Friday morning, Charles donated his kidney to John. It took a lot of courage for all of them, for their families, for their kids, their wives, the mothers and fathers and siblings, all concerned and worried about how was this going to work. But knowing that the outcome for John, if it didn't work, was not good. So what a gift, not only to feel their courage, but to feel how held my mom and her sisters were by people who have no idea who they even are. That's the power of part of the path of love, just holding each other. Those we know about and those who are around the world suffering in ways we will never, I hope, ever know. But we hold that. So I could talk for a long time about their journey, but what struck me in their courageous, because both of these men needed to be both vulnerable and courageous to say, yes, let's do this thing. Thank you for the miracle of medical technology. But there's that word courage. And the word courage comes from the Latin and from the Old French, cœur, heart. Courage is a heart word. How do we tap into the path of our hearts so that we can move in love's direction? David White writes, courage is a word that tempts us to think outwardly, to run bravely against opposing fire, to do something under besieging circumstances, maybe to offer a kidney, right? That's an outward sign. But a look at its linguistic origins, cœur, is to look in a more interior direction. Courage is the measure of our heartfelt participation with life. Heartfelt participation with life, with another, with a community, with work, with a future. Courage is the measure of that. And to be courageous is not necessarily to go anywhere or do anything. It is to make conscious, to make us fully aware then, to make conscious those things we already feel deeply, and then to live through, to live up to, and into the necessities of the things we care deeply about. Courage, he writes, is what love looks like when tested by the simple, everyday necessities of being alive. From the inside, it can feel like confusion. Anybody ever felt confused by what your heart is asking you to do? Like, really? You want me to do that? only slowly, he reminds us, do we learn what we really care about. And then allow our outer life to be realigned in that gravitational pull. So courage lets our outer expression match the inner pull of what we truly care about. It takes maturity and vulnerability to answer that invitation, to listen to where our hearts are leading us. There is so much in the world today that makes my heart freeze. Freeze with fear, with anger, with incredulous disbelief at the weight of cruelty, unbelievable greed, violence, injustice. Over and over, I have to come back to the invitation to what do I care about deeply? How is my vulnerable heart broken open? And in that breaking open, how am I called to move in love's direction to help answer the necessities of life? How is my heart broken open time and again so that the infinite presence of love can fill it and lead me forward? It's a practice. It is an over and over again. Over and over again. The breaking open, the breathing into, the letting that call me forward. Last week, I asked us to sit, because they're questions that I am sitting with. I asked us to sit with some questions. You might not remember, this is not a quiz, and you might not even have been here. But here are some of the questions that kind of go through my mind and heart as I'm looking at the things in the world that make my heart want to freeze. What wants to be born in me, through me, as me? How am I called to be the embodiment of love and compassion? And what is the chaos of this moment, not just in our own country, but so many places in the world? Where is the chaos of this moment? What is the chaos of this moment giving birth to? What wants to be transformed in this moment? And how am I called to be part of that birthing of the world we long to see? Clearly, I have an abundance of questions. And I'm telling you right now, I do not have one simple answer for us. And I don't even have one simple answer for myself. Because that answer, which of course those questions all kind of boil down to the same thing, is this the path of love? What does love look like in this moment? I answer that question as best I can in the choices I make in my life. In the slowing down to listen to the infinite presence within, so that anything I choose to do to answer that call stems from the ground of my being, which ideally is love. not my ego saying, this is what you should be doing. How have you not fixed this thing yet, even in my own world, let alone the big stuff around me? Courage is what love looks like when tested by the simple, everyday necessities of being alive. How are you answering the call of what your heart longs to see? In your own unrepeatable way, how are you moving moment by moment, choice by choice, in love's direction? Not love as something sentimental, not love that's all hearts and flowers and sunshine and unicorns. Love that asks us to let our hearts continue to be broken open, to let the suffering of the world call us into compassion. We don't have to face the suffering 24/7, but we cannot shy away from it either. Our broken, open hearts are called to love beyond what is comfortable, to love those we do not find easy to love the parts of ourselves that we would rather push away and not look at. So if I long to see more peace in the world, am I showing up as peace? Am I mending relationships that have been broken? If I long to see communities and individuals more connected, am I showing up to build bridges, to offer connection, to offer friendship, to offer radical hospitality? If I long to see more love and kindness and compassion in the world, am I showing up as love, as kindness, not just doing good stuff, but to let my whole being show up as that infinite presence that we are? I cannot answer for you how you should be moving in love's direction. That call that we hear comes from within. And it comes speaking a language only our own hearts can hear. And then we share that with each other, absolutely, in community. We strengthen each other. We soften each other. We invite vulnerability together so that our broken, open hearts lead us into right action, into right speech, into wholeheartedly saying yes, and yes, and yes to love's sometimes demanding path. But we do not do it alone. We do it held by that infinite presence within that gives us the courage to say, yes, I will love. Yes, I will speak. Yes, I will show up. Yes, I will offer another vision for what the world can look like. And I will live into that vision with my whole heart, my whole mind, my whole strength, my whole soul. And if we do that together, together, we will be moving in love's direction. And so it is. Amen.